Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I want to know what's on your mind. The world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today, we are talking about mindset and money. Money, 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 money. Yes, money, mindset, and money. So, bring your questions. Look, tag your friends, let them know they need to be on here because we have got quite the conversation for you tonight. We are live on Conversations with Nicole Facebook, YouTube, and on the Greater Works Network on RokuTV. So, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? In the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. Let us know by putting your city and your state in the comments so we can give you a shout out. This is an interactive live, and we fully expect to hear from you. Money is something that I think the Bible talks about money. Money is the issue that is talked about the most in the Bible. So if the Lord was talking about money, we need to be talking about money. Okay. So I want to hear from you. Yes, Farm ST7. I'm hitting those notes tonight because I want y'all to be on here and talk this money talk with us. Okay. We're looking at your mindset and money. Hey there, Donda and Tally. Thanks for being here. My sister Javon in Atlanta. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So my guest, Miss Shanova Monique, is going to join me momentarily. But before I read her bio and bring her on, I I got a lot on my heart today. You know, I'm really just torn all the way up over the death by suicide of Twitch, who was on the Ellen DeGeneres show as a DJ. And I think he produced some shows, at least that's what I was told. But I remember him from the So You Think You Can Dance. I mean, just fabulous dancer and entertainer, but 40 years old, married, two small children, died by suicide yesterday. And so we got the news of that today, and my heart is just very, very heavy. So I don't know, but of those of you who are familiar with him, familiar with his work, his life, but I definitely want to just give a moment of silence to his legacy and to his family and loved ones at this time. So if y'all will join me just to send some positive light and love to him and his family at this time. All right, thank you. So, y'all, I ain't been feeling so hot. You know why? Because I had the vid for the third time. But I got a negative test yesterday, and so I'm happy. I'm real glad about it. So that's the other thing that's on my heart and mind. I was slack, okay? not wearing my mask all the time, not doing the things that I need to do. So I want to encourage y'all. It's the holiday season. I know people want to be festive and at these gatherings and all of that, but y'all be safe out here in these streets, okay? Wear your mask, wash your hands, take your vitamins, drink your water, get your rest. It's important. Trust and believe. I'm telling you. I'm telling you firsthand. I know for myself. So be careful out there. All right. Yes. All right. So I see a few more of you. Hey there, T. Scott in San Antonio. Thank you for being here. Hey there, Tracy Golay in Tally Ho. And yes, Marjorie, very heartbreaking, may seemingly open eyes to many. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. And thank you. I'm so glad to be doing well now. Not 100%, but almost there. But a whole lot better than I was. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Miss Shanovia Monique, I'm gonna read y'all a little bit of her bio. Miss Shanovia Paul is actually her her given name. She is a certified financial strategist. She's the owner and founder of Shanovia Monique Financial Consultant and Educator, formerly known as Be Literal Fit Financially Lit. Be Financially Lit. Look, I was already getting to the lit part. She aims to enrich the lives of those served through the core values of accountability, simplicity, and love. She is passionate about helping families, desires to help her clients establish a strong foundation in personal and business finances centered around mothers and children. She earned a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting and a Master's of Arts in Business from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Go Rattlers! She has over 10 years of corporate accounting experience, a knack for making meaningful connections with moms, and a passion for helping others reach their financial goals. She knows the importance of understanding early financial literacy, budgeting, and with any income. I heard y'all heard that budgeting with any income and providing resources so that families can obtain financial freedom. So, y'all help me welcome Miss Shanovia Monique.
Hey!
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here. So you got a little fanfare right here, Miss Kendra saying,
Listen, if
yes,
you are from the financially lit community, you are my cousin, my auntie on my mother's side, my brother on my brother's side, all those things.
love
Put
it.
some purple hearts in the chat so Miss Nicole know that you're here to support me, and the conversation with Nicole family know that we are in the building as well. So
Love it. Love it. Love it. Look, she is wearing CWN red today and she got on all of this lovely neck candy going on. I love it. So thank you so much for being here.
thank you.
All right. So I see my cousin Philip in VA is here. Thank you for being here. And Commissioner Nick Maddox. What it do, people? Thank
Well,
you. Appreciate you for being here, Commissioner Maddox. All right. So before we dive in, I wanted you to tell the people who is Shanovia? Not what you do, because I read some of that, but who are you?
well, Shanovia is a mom first, and a guide girl. So I am definitely a guide girl first and a mom second to one amazing future D1 athlete. I see you, son. And I am also an individual who just really loves helping people, finance, all things money. I love all of those things, and I'm truly, truly passionate about helping people get out of debt, budget it early, save, all of those things. It's just a true passion. So outside of that, I am super creative. I love to dance and I love to just hang out and be with my friends and my family. So all of the fun accolades that you read earlier, I was like, oh, who's she talking about? Oh my gosh, she's talking about me. It sounded so good.
Hmm.
But those are the things that I do professionally. But personally, I just really love to just hang out and help people in any way I can with money.
Nice, 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 nice. And so talk to us a little bit about how and why you started your business.
Well, I started Shanova Monique Financial Consulting and Education. We were formerly known as Be Financially Lit because I grew up in a middle class family. And although we had conversations in our home about money, they weren't structured. It wasn't a let's sit down to the dinner table and have a conversation and let's do all of those very structured conversations. Um, and that left me to kind of figure some things out on my own, kind of if anytime I have to transition from being a teenager into being an adult, anybody know that transition. It can be a little rocky, regardless of what
Mhm,
your parents have instilled in you. You have to figure out this journey all by yourself. And as my mom would say, you have to walk that journey on your own, okay?
mhm, you
And
do.
in doing so, you learn a lot of lessons, some the hard way. And I started the business to really prevent people from having to experience some of the pitfalls that I experienced early on, to help them grow without having to just have this very hard exterior. And
Mhm,
most of all, to get financial literacy and education out there to our community.
mm,
We are very good at doing a lot of things, but for some reason, when we start to talk about money, everybody gets a little tight. Okay.
mm.
We want to have the hard conversations, the genuine conversations that we need to have around financial literacy and education. And through my company, I do all of those things. I make sure that we can truly know what we don't know.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Well, kudos to you and thank you for what you do. There is a book that we will talk about a little bit later on, which is kind of the foundation for why we even are partially why we're having this conversation. But I want to just give a couple more shouts out. I see Cecilia Coley in St. Pete. Thanks for being here. Miss Self Love, who's saying so true. So co-signing on some of what you had to say, but thank you for being here, my sister. Mom out of Miami, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And cousin Denise in Texas, thank you for being here. All right. So now, y'all, we are taking a different perspective on this. This is Wellness Wednesday. You know, we do Wellness Wednesday, Mindset Monday. And that's what really our focus is on, money and mindset. Okay.
Right.
Although we will talk about a little bit, I think, touch on credit and budgeting, but we want to start with mindset because everything starts with mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. 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 Hold on. I see you, Lisa Love. Hey there. Thank you for being here. And Taisha Brown, thank you for being here. All right. So start us off, Shanova. Where shall we begin?
Listen, I think the best place to begin with our communities is just telling them that 2023 is already here.
Okay.
Okay. So, for those of us that are getting ready, getting prepared, anytime we get to the holiday season, it seems like time just speeds up. Like something happens where you look up and 2 weeks later, Christmas happened, New Year's happened, and we're already in the new year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, if you're getting ready to start preparing for the new year, the best thing you can do is to not treat it like any other year.
Mm-hmm.
Don't treat it like any other year. 2023, not as a cliche moment, will be different, but if you follow some of the things that we'll talk about tonight, your life will be different. So the
Okay.
year, it will be a different year. But if we set these intentions instead of resolutions, we will honestly build a system, build strategies in our life that can sustain us. That's
Yeah.
the big thing I want you guys to take away from tonight is sustainability. We're tired of setting resolutions, and by February, March, we're already forgotten what we said in January. Um,
Hello.
so if you guys put in the chat who sets resolutions, do you believe in them? Do you set them often? And how we go about doing that. So
All
I
right.
know right now in our community, meaning like the financial community, it's the time where everybody is expressing the new year, new me. I'm getting out of debt, saving all of my money. And I don't know how many text messages we get where it's like, I'm not eating out anything in January, no eating out. And we always laugh as financial experts because that's normally the month where most churches are fasting. So you're not eating out anyway.
Daniel,
So
listen. Yeah. Look. every year we get acquainted with Daniel, okay?
So while I will celebrate your growth in that area, it's almost like you're kind of cheating me, okay? Like you're cheating, it's a cheat code, but
Mm-hmm.
I am excited. I love the motivation that happens with the new year. I love the freshness. However, I want us to start to think about the difference between a resolution and intention and figure out how we can honestly get something that sticks and lasts.
Mm-hmm. Agree. All right. So y'all in the chat, she said it really fast and y'all probably didn't hear it, but let us know if you are one of those who sets New Year's resolutions. Just give us a thumbs up or church finger or wave your hand or something in the comments. Let us know. I, for one, have been one of those that has done New Year's resolutions on every year. So yes, yes, yes. And sometimes by Martin Luther King Day,
Not Martin Luther King, Nicole.
right, in the same month, okay? And I couldn't even make it to Valentine's Day.
And that's real. Like, you guys, we know that we jump on and off of certain goals that we have and certain
Mhm,
intentions, but it's okay to say, I don't really know how to stick to that. And that's where the mindset piece comes in. If we
mhm,
address the mindset, if we talk about what hinders you from staying consistent to something for a set period of time, then you can honestly set the goal and actually obtain it. It's not because you
mhm.
don't have the desire, it's not because you are a bad person or you don't want to accomplish whatever you set out to accomplish. It really is a mindset thing.
And
What is
Margie said,
what's stopping you?
she said, I can't even look at myself and lie like that. I do not.
And that's okay, Marjorie. That's okay. We're going to help you set at least one financial intention, not a resolution,
Mhm.
but an intention for next year. So,
What an intention, indeed. Hey there, Michael Love. Thank you for being here from Jacksonville. All right, so Tracy said no. She don't do it.
okay, so I think I love these comments because I have more people in the room that does not set resolutions, no intentions, and I think I'm gonna have to sway a few of you guys. Okay, I
Okay.
need you guys to jump on board, set some resolutions. Um, Intentions, my bad. And make
Intentions,
sure
yes,
intentions, set the
yes,
intention and
intentions.
make sure that you have something to look forward to in 2023.
Okay,
That's all
Donda
it
said no resolutions, vision board for the year that focuses around a scripture.
okay.
Proverbs 21:20, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get.
Oh,
That's a good word.
that's a good word.
Yeah. All right. Tan said lately I've been creating long-term and short goals. Okay.
Okay,
That's cool. I like
that's
that.
good.
I like that. I like that. All right. So I want us to dive more into this mindset piece though. So
Okay.
help us get there. Help us get there.
So before we can like completely dive into the mindset, we
Okay.
have to we have to honestly talk about what
Okay.
stops the mindset, right?
Okay.
So if you're trying to make a decision, I want everybody to know that it's a journey on this financial journey, life, all the things. There are going to be a few things that's going to stop you in your mindset: economic
Mhm.
status, upbringing, religious and spiritual beliefs. And you also have to take into consideration your current life status,
Mhm.
right? It's not just one of those things where we say the word mindset and we're talking about how do you feel today. Mindset goes back to how did we get here? How did it
Mm.
start? And a lot of us don't really want to dig into how we got here because that
Mhm.
makes us have hard conversations with our parents, hard conversations with ourselves. And when you do that, that's when you're going to dig into the mindset. So for me, before I can do anything, when I started this financial journey and even the company, I had to go back and have some conversations with my mom. You know, my
Mhm.
mom may be on the call tonight. She is a very hardworking woman. My parents were hardworking, and
Mhm.
they did everything that they could to show my sister, my brother, and I what we need to do financially. However, they didn't use the language that we now
Mm.
have in society.
Okay.
So she would say, put a little away for a rainy day. That's what we now call an emergency fund.
Mhm.
She would write down all of her bills on a piece of paper. We now want to have a budgeting app and all the fancy things. So we had to go back to the hard conversations of, why did you try to teach me the lesson that you taught me in that way?
Okay.
The best person to talk to also are your grandparents. Then you can see why your mom taught you the way that she taught you, or your parents taught you the way that they taught you. So mindset is just a really tricky thing. It's something that you have to really invest some time in. And one of the ways that you can kind of do that, which is what one of the intentions is that we'll talk about tonight, you have to become an avid reader.
Mm.
You have to train your brain or retrain your brain for any concept that does not fit your life currently can be replaced with something positive. And you can do that. The first step, you can do it in many ways, but becoming an avid reader is one.
Okay. Marjorie said the kids in my home were never trained on savings or long-term goals.
So this tonight is not the conversation about kids. Nicole and I will come back to talk to y'all about the kids, like for real, like in a depth conversation. But kids need to learn early.
But I think she's talking about herself as
Her kids.
kids. No,
Oh, okay.
she as a child, in her home, the children, her parents didn't train her on savings or long-term goals.
So put in the chat if you actually sat down ever and had a conversation with your parents or grandparents as a child about money.
All right. So y'all heard that if you had a conversation with your parents as a child or your grandparents as a child about savings, money, that sort of thing, let us know in the chat. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? All right. Donda said yes, she has.
Okay.
Driana said, I have never. Okay. All right.
So the purpose
No.
kind of
My
that
mom
question.
said no.
No. Yeah.
Denise said no. Javon said, not my parents, but my grandmother. So listen, I'm going to pause because Javon's grandmother was the bomb. She was the creator of the School of Business and Industry at the
Yes.
Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. So,
Yes.
and her
It's
name
triple
is
C.
on, look, her name is on my degree, okay? But anyway, I digress. Kendra said yes, but limited. Then it said every day. Okay.
Mm.
Margie said thereby making me an impulsive buyer. My parents were immigrants and were not taught by their parents. We never talked about it. Okay. Taisha said nope. Terrence said nope, not directly. Okay. So more no's than yeses for sure.
So that brings up again the point of where do your habits start? They start as a child. They start
Mhm.
primarily in your household and how you were brought up. And it starts with simple steps like delayed gratitude. So I have a teenager. And one thing everybody that knows me personally know, my son is almost a mini me when it comes to budgeting, saving, and all those things because we talk about
Mhm.
it so often. But he has delayed gratitude, meaning, Mom, I want to go out with my friends. Sometimes
Mhm.
I may say yes, and other times I may say no. And he would say, oh, when he was younger, he would say, oh, we don't have any money. I would say, no, I have money, but the answer is no. Sometimes you have to like instill these small habits, but that's training the mindset. When it comes to the impulse buying, how was the buying process in your home as a child? Did you see a lot of impulse buying around you, or did you get to college and you had to experience what that looks like to become an adult and to not actually know the structure of how to buy things and what time frames you should be purchasing them? All
Mhm.
of that goes back to the mindset.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, I mean, I don't think we really sit with ourselves and think about these things so much, but they do make a difference, right?
Right.
For Marjorie to be able to talk about her parents being immigrants and they weren't taught by their parents, and it's caused her to be an impulsive buyer. I just want us to just take a moment to think about like maybe the things we saw or did not see,
Mhm.
right? And the impact that it's made on us to either be spenders or savers, to have respect for money or not really have respect for money.
And that
um,
can go that can go both ways. So if you have a parent that was super strict on you with money, when you get your own money, you want to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
They never allowed you to make certain purchases, certain transactions. So it can also work like simultaneously, meaning I save because my parents taught me how to save, or I spend because all I did was save when I was younger. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to go back, and when you're doing impulse buying, you have to stop to think about a few things. And I do a class on this like once a year at my church, but you have to think about, is this a hasty decision? Did I stop to consider all the options and the substitutes? Did I process what it is? Will I need this item 6 months from now? So those are three very important questions that we don't stop long enough to ask ourselves in a store or online.
Mm-hmm.
We click the button or we make the purchase, and then maybe we will have regret, but most of the time we don't take it back. And if we do send it back, we're spending it immediately on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So impulse buying, you have to slow your brain down long enough to say, is this hasty? Meaning, did I walk in the store, see this nice shirt or blouse or whatever, and say, I need it today? Well, where would you wear it if you purchased it today?
Mm-hmm.
You have one in your closet that looks similar. So for every purchase that I make personally, if I buy a new top, I'm looking to see if I either have to give one away or if I'm going to donate one. Why? Because we have a closet full of clothes and we're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a shirt all the way in the back that you purchased. It was going to be your favorite shirt for your favorite conference or for your favorite whatever. And then you forget it's back there.
Right.
You completely forget. So,
Yeah.
impulse buying has a root, and the root can be emotional management. You're having a hard day. It can be just what we were talking about now with the mindset of I just want to have nice things. Is
Mm-hmm.
a term that we always tell ourselves. I deserve it. Pay myself first. All of those terms go back to emotional management and how you're feeling. So check your impulse buying or just buying in general. I put up a post on my social media page just last week and today that says, "Don't let the holiday season get you caught," meaning you're incurring a lot of debt. You're going into the new year in debt because you don't know how to turn your notifications off.
Mm.
Don't let the notifications push you. The emails, the companies, the small business, they're doing their jobs, but you don't have to fully engage in that.
Y'all, she has some hilarious IG reels and such about spending this money. And y'all, I will give you that information later, but it's really, really, it makes you think though. You definitely give us some food for thought. All right. Donna said, I think sometimes the mindset is not understanding the lesson. So we spend because we couldn't spend. Mm-hmm. Indeed. All right, my good friend Michael Cork is on from the Hallelujah Morning Show, 95.3 FM here in Tallahassee. He says, separating my money has worked best for me. I
Mm-hmm.
have fun. I have a fun account, active fool account, and responsible account. I feed each account regularly and accordingly. Love it.
And for what Mr. Michael is doing, that's what we do as like a cash method envelope, like a cash envelope method. You
Mm-hmm.
take the categories that you have in your expenses or your budget and you break them down into any category that you want. Um, Everybody also can do something that the active fool account, you need one of those. And once
Mm-hmm.
you spend that allotted amount of money, then you go back to being in the budget.
Okay. All right. Go back to being in the budget. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, I got a question for the viewers. How many of you all had allowances?
Oh, that's a good question.
Allowances. If you did, let us know. Yes or no in the chat. Allowances. I'll tell you, I think my parents did kind of do an allowance, but I kept asking for money. And so by the time, oh goodness, yeah, junior high school, I guess it was really high school. Um, I just kept wanting stuff. And so I had to get a job because I look, I kept wanting to go to the movies or, for ice cream or a new outfit or whatever. So no, I had to get a job eventually.
Listen, I think it's different. I
Mhm.
do think
We got a
now,
lot of responses here.
yes, they like
Yeah,
no. A lot of people are like no. Some are saying yes, but she
she
said
said they did
I
and
did
still
and
do.
still do.
Mhm.
Carrie, ma'am, you may not get an allowance, okay?
Yeah. My mom said no. Yes, but that stopped when we. Kristen, you let us know when it stopped. All right. Terrence said I didn't get it as a child, but I do it for my son. Yes, Mr. Tyson. All right, cool.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about allowance, let's talk about it quickly, okay?
Okay,
Because
let's
I
do
have
it.
a teenager, and I think you might have just triggered me with this allowance
Uh-oh.
question. So, if you're gonna give an allowance, once the allowance is spent, then all the things that Nicole was talking about earlier, you're not gonna get. Like, we're not gonna give you an allowance and then pay for you to go to all of your outings as well.
Mhm.
So, if we're trying to train a mindset, right, of very financially sound individuals, meaning kids that's growing up to be young adults, parents, we have to put our foot down. Regardless of what we had when we were growing up, we can't give them an allowance, pay for all their outings, pay for all the new clothes, and then allow them to spend the money however they see fit, right?
Mhm.
Because then they're
Mhm.
missing the lesson in why you're giving them the money.
Indeed.
So it has to be boundaries. And if you're going to give your child an allowance, actually have a conversation with them. I'm giving you this allowance because you have met this expectation. Either you have cleaned up, you have your grades, whatever expectation you have for your household, because it is relative to whoever you are. And then tell them, if you
Yeah.
don't do this, you will not get this allowance. And if you do, then you will, and you can go and spend it however you want. However, I'm not going to take care of whatever is left over. So, I mean, I got an allowance. I think that it is important to give. It's a very good motivator for our kids because, like you said, they do want to do a lot of things.
Mhm.
Um, but there can be a very negative downturn of overcompensating our kids who already have so much.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. All right, you got a shout out from your auntie and uncle in New Jersey.
Hey, Auntie.
All right, and Donda said that was my method for my children, but it is very hard to follow suit with my grandkids. It's a
Okay,
different.
we have a grandma in the room who is spoiling the grandkids and making mama have to set boundaries. Grandma, you got to work with us, okay? Everybody love to spoil the kids. My
Well,
son's grandmother.
they might have some other
Oh,
tricks up their sleeve. So I don't know. Donda expound upon that, if you will, in terms of why it's hard to follow suit with your grandkids, because maybe their parents might be doing something different that might make it challenging.
mm,
So I don't know. So
okay.
Donda,
Yeah,
let
I
us
see.
know.
I see you trying to balance it out there.
You never know. You
You never
never
know.
know. The grandkids might be trying to double dip around here. All right, Terrence said, truth. We make our son save double for whatever he wants to get. Mm-hmm. Agreed, agreed, agreed. All right, Miriam, loving the conversation. Thank you, Miriam. All right, so I'm gonna pause. This is my little station break. We don't really have commercials here on CWN, although we're gonna have one right now. But I have Miss Shanova Paul. Shanova Monique is a business name, and we are talking about mindset and money. Mindset and money. We are setting intentions rather than resolutions for 2023. Before we continue on, though, I do literally have a shout out that I need to give. The Southside Arts Complex, Tallahassee's cultural and arts hub, is returning to the South Side in the Town South Shopping Center. And if you want to support economic development, arts, and cultural events and services to underserved youth, go to the Southside Arts Complex website. I'm going to put that up on our Conversations with Nicole Facebook page. But for more information, you can also call 850-938-7964. They are helping to underwrite tonight's show, so we do want to give a moment to send their message out to the community. All right, so we have been talking about mindset and money, setting these intentions rather than resolutions for 2023. Specifically, we have been talking about allowances and whether or not they are meaningful, a meaningful tool. And when does it get to the point where an allowance is no longer necessary and you know, children need a job?
Oh, I, are are we asking me that question?
I
Because
am. I'm throwing it out
oh,
there to anybody who wants to answer.
anybody, I'm gonna let the audience answer first because I believe kids can have a job when they are eligible by law, 15.
Okay. All
But
right.
that comes with a few contingencies. Obviously, if they have to do educational things, you don't want to put a burden on the parents, but having a job can be something in their household. Right now, we're in a digital virtual world. They can create their own business. They
Okay.
don't have to go and do groceries like we used to. So, I do think that work ethic builds character for sure. And once they have to
Um,
spend their own money,
yes.
that's when they value it a little bit more. I don't
Oh.
know how many times my son get Christmas money or whatever money comes to his hand, and all of a sudden he's super tight. He don't want to buy
Mhm.
McDonald's. He don't want to go anywhere,
Mhm.
but he has no problem going with my money.
Of course. That's the way it works. Yeah, I like Michael Cork's response best. As soon as they can get
Mhm.
hired. Look,
Yep.
all right. I believe it depends on the expensive immaturity of the child. All right. So how expensive their taste is probably. Both of
Right.
my kids started at 16. Yes. Yeah,
But
I
we also
remember.
have like these kids now, like Marcy Martin. Like she was like a multimillionaire before she was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our traditional thought process of what jobs look like, meaning
Mm-hmm.
going to a physical building, has shifted a little bit after COVID, and definitely with the generation X and Y, all of those, younger generations or Z rather. Sorry,
Yeah.
they they have very creative ways to make money. So it's different, and they can start whenever.
Okay.
Like the young lady who has the lemonade line that's now in all of the stores, but
Yeah.
she started, I think, was she 6 or 7?
Mm-hmm.
So if your
Indeed.
kid express a desire to do something, to be an entrepreneur, try to support them in that. They have Lemonade Day here in Tallahassee every year, where that's just a good way to talk about entrepreneurship and building. Don't shut them down. Don't be so quick to shut them down to say, go do your homework, get out of here, like all those things. Really cultivate what it is that they want to do. Give them a safe space to try, and that can really happen at any age.
Okay. A lot of folks are chiming in. Denise said her daughter started at 15 on the same job till she graduated.
Mhm.
Javon said they can, but I had to work. Wanted her son to focus on education, but taught him to start his own business, and he got money for A's, less
Mhm.
for B's. But anyone when they hit that age. And then Driana, she said, depends on the kids. My mom allowed me to go to college while not working. It paid off in the end. I'm so much better for the support, but I am hiring everyone in my household in 2022. So she got 4 kids. So all of the kids will be booked and busy.
And let me know if you have an opening. I might have another child that you can make them booked and busy too, okay?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So this whole mindset piece is ongoing. Donda said her child started at 15. Oldest granddaughter just started a dog sitting service. Listen, be creative and innovative with it.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Dre said she got you. She got you with that other child.
Yes.
All right. Miss Vanessa said we do save, but in getting older, we spoil our grandchildren, nieces and nephews. We lavish on them as much as possible. We show them much love. Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
What's wrong with that? It's nothing wrong with
All
But
right.
it's also nothing wrong with a parent when those lavish gifts come. They're gonna sit in the corner for a little while until these kids can get it together. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
shout out to all the moms who are putting gifts to the side when their kids are acting a fool, as someone said in the chat earlier. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Right, 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 right. All right.
so Miss,
So
can we tell them something really fast? I
absolutely.
know that we're talking about financial resolutions versus intentions, and I want everybody to really understand what the difference is,
Okay.
because to some people it may sound like the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, financial resolutions, which is something that we talk about often and that they're more of like hard and fast goals that you either achieve or don't achieve. Meaning, I want to do this thing by the end of the year, and if I happen to not do it, then I didn't achieve it, right? But financial intentions, they are more implementing lifestyle changes to better align with your goals. So
Okay.
an intention may be, I want to get out of debt by 2023 by paying off $5,226 to Capital One, right? That's an intention. That's what I intend to do. A resolution is, I want to be debt free with nothing else behind it. When we're setting these intentions and resolutions, and as we talk about mindset, I want everybody to start to get clear on our word choices, which actually goes back to mindset as well. What we speak out of our mouth as an affirmation will also be transforming our world and our life. So, as we talk about mindset, all of the different pieces that can make up the mindset, we also have to talk about affirmations and what comes out of your mouth. Okay.
Yes. No, that's real. Very real. So let me ask you something. What's your thought about, and I have this conversation sometimes with folks about a made up mind.
Okay.
I just feel like there's power in a made up mind. Like once you set your mind to it, it's like it's something that's activated within you.
I mean, I agree completely and wholeheartedly.
Okay.
But it's a catch-22, right? A
Mm-hmm.
made up mind is someone who will go through any obstacle, any test. They'll go up, under, around to get to that final destination. They're mostly what some of us would call the dreamers of the world or the dreamers of your circles, where
Mm-hmm.
they can see the big picture. They don't care about the steps in between. They just see the debt freedom. They see the home ownership. They don't care that they've been turned down 2 or 3 times for appraisal issues. They're saying, I'm still going to get this house next year,
Mm-hmm.
right? But someone also who has a made up mind, who's not flexible, who don't know how to pivot when it's necessary, who don't know how to basically adjust to the circumstance that they're in, can also
Mm-hmm.
find themselves running around and around in a circle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
financially. You set your intention, but you have to know when to pivot. When your life gives you a situation, as life grants us, maybe you lost your job or life circumstances happen. We're not saying move the goal, but we are saying you have to adjust to what that looks like. So I'm a firm believer of please have a made up mind. Know exactly where you want to go. Know exactly what you want. However, be flexible so that you don't find yourself just going around and around in that circle.
Okay. Very good. All right. Yeah. Vanessa said most definitely you will do whatever it takes to reach your goal.
Absolutely.
All right. So how can we be or set these intentions for 2023?
So that's a great question, and I was so excited about this question, and I was so excited more so about how do we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have 4 or 5 very intentional steps of how you can not only shift your mindset, but you can have some financial actionable steps that can
Okay.
set the intentions.
Okay.
We talked about one earlier, and that's becoming an avid reader. You have to start somewhere. There's a quote that's out there that says, if you want to know something great, pick up a book. Oftentimes, a lot of the information that we need to know are inside of books, and we don't physically read them. We're listening to the YouTube channels and the podcasts, and those are great. But reading has so many elements and properties that shift your mindset. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it requires you to be consistent at something, and it requires you to show up. So being an avid reader or starting to do reading is going to be the first thing. You want to try to do 10 to 15 minutes a day. And if at all possible, you want to have a physical copy of a book. Okay.
Mm.
We spend too much time on our phones, the computers, all those things. To actually disconnect from those things and read a few pages a day, you will start to have better vocabulary. You will start to have more wisdom and knowledge through those things. And it's just a very, very good step to start with. In choosing which books to start, I have a great book that you can start January 1 that we'll talk about a little bit later in the finance area. Okay, put that plug out there. But you also want to choose a book based on your life. So maybe that's a mindset book. If you're trying to grow your professional career, you want to look at me becoming a grant writer. That may be a good book to do. So choose things that can also benefit you, that'll shift your mindset.
Okay.
Outside of reading, you have to do something that's like a non-negotiable. Y'all, we got to
Okay.
get a budget. Yep, I said it.
The bad word.
Yes, it is.
That's
It's definitely a bad. Everybody see it as such a bad word, and that's why I said it quickly, and then I paused so that you guys can digest it, take it in.
so let me pause for a moment. How many of you have a budget? This is a
Have a
safe
budget.
space, no judgment.
No judgment.
Yes or no in the comments. You got a budget. I do not have a budget.
Okay.
I do not.
And for those that do not have a budget, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you a quick thing in 1 second about it.
Marjorie said, what does that mean? Where do you start? And Javon said, me. Dre said, I do. Donda said, yes. I need to get back on track with my budget. Yes. Okay. I most certainly do. Nice. Okay. Taisha, no, I do not. Spin 721, I do not at this time. All right. So it's a lot of us budget free folks out here. It's there, but is it used? I think that's what she's asking. Denise said I do. Javon said I think I obsess over my budget in an unhealthy way. Oh
Oh,
no.
let's talk about it. Oh, let's take a pause right there.
Okay, wait. You Leonard said yes.
Who left
Kristen said absolutely. I follow it to the penny.
to the
Okay.
penny?
All right, so let's go back to Javon.
Okay, you have a budget and you obsess in an unhealthy way. Who said it's unhealthy? What does that actually mean, right? Sometimes, and this may not be Giovanna, you can type in and come back and give us a little follow up. Oftentimes, people that don't budget say that we're being obsessive or in an unhealthy way about our budget. It depends on who you're asking, right? What
Mhm.
makes a budget or using it to be in that way to be unhealthy? So when we were in the comments, I saw a lot of yes and a lot of no. So I want to stop and pause. For those of you that have a budget, let's give them a round of applause in the chat. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Okay. We have to stop and celebrate that because getting a budget, having it, using it, it's a mindset issue. It's a principle issue. It's something that you have to be consistent with. And if you have taken time, anybody that has a budget in the chat probably have tried multiple methods in order to get to this place.
Mhm.
Now, for those of you that does not have a budget or do not currently use a budget, or you have one, Carrie, and you're not using it, I'm not going to not give you a round of applause. Thank you for your honesty. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank them for their honesty. Don't leave them out, okay? But we want to get you to a place where you can have a budget, right? Either you're going to tell your money where to go or it's going to find a place to go on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to assign it a place, give it some legs, and allow it to find its home, or you will find yourself overspending, impulse buying, and being subject to sinking funds. Those are clothing, eating out, going out with girlfriends, vacationing in Jamaica without me. Take me next time. Thank you.
Thinking. I mean,
All of that.
that sounds like a plan to me. Jamaica. Yeah.
Jamaica would be fun, but what if you come back and you forgot to do your light bill because you forgot the budget for it? It won't be as fun when you get back. Now, for those of us that budget, we're going to budget to go to Jamaica. I think it's a beautiful place. And when I
Mm.
get there, I want to have enough money to experience all of the rafts, all of the excursions. I don't want to go to Jamaica at the all-inclusive resort, and that's the only place I can be. I don't want to do that.
Michelle said, "Can you say it again? That was good." Oh goodness,
So if
yeah.
you don't have a budget, it's okay. I'm actually for Shanova and Monique, we're going to do a budgeting workshop here in the first quarter of the year. So be
Nice.
on the lookout for that. We go through all of the categories. We tell you everything that you need to know for your budget. We sit down with you one on one and go over a number of things that can stop you from budgeting and kind of get into your mindset. And we just want to make sure that it's not a heavy word. Budgeting is really simple.
Mm.
Put your income on a piece of paper, put your expenses, see where you land. I think what makes it complicated is people try to overly complicate it, right? They think they need an app, a worksheet. They think they need to add, subtract, multiply times 15 and see what's left.
Well,
It's
wait
not,
a minute.
it's
Wait,
not that.
wait, wait. Okay, I don't have an app or a worksheet. I mean, my bills
See?
get paid every month.
But do you have any access, right? And you don't have to answer that question in front of your community,
What
but
you
it's
mean?
like, so although your bills are getting paid, right?
Uh-huh.
And everything is happening, do you have your desired amount to put in a savings or to go towards a Jamaica trip?
I mean, yeah, I could. I mean, it's all in checking right now. In fact, I'm often surprised because I live pretty low. I mean, in terms of maintenance, I don't really require much. So a
So
lot of
that's a
times
little
when
bit
I
of
look
an
at,
exception then. That
huh?
means you're frugal. That means that's an exception. That means you're a frugal person in general.
Yeah.
So you don't do a lot of spending. But if you were, we would be having a different type of conversation.
Right. Right.
So for the community, you don't need a budgeting sheet, but if you need one, anybody needs a budgeting sheet, go over to my website. I have one that's free. You can download it before the beginning of the year. Also, send me a message. My information will be here scrolling at the bottom at
Yeah.
some point in our conversation, and I can get you a sheet. But use the sheet just as a guide, right? To see what categories maybe that you're not considering.
So
But if
Margie,
I give you anything with the budget, just keep it simple. Keep
okay.
it keep it simple.
So Margie said, "How else do you hold yourself accountable?"
So I have an accountability partner. That's one good way to hold yourself accountable.
Mhm.
We are really good at lying to ourselves.
Mm.
we are. We're really good at that. Okay, so we're good at saying, "Oh, I did good this month," when you know you did it, right? But there's nobody there to tell you that you did it. So I think getting an accountability partner, someone who has a like-minded, they're like-minded and they're trying to go the same place that you're going. Now the thing is, don't get an accountability partner who is a spender and you're a saver, right?
Mm.
Because they will have more influence on you than you will on them. Okay.
Mhm.
So you got to find an accountability partner that's striving to have the goals just like you are and that wants to move in the right direction and you guys can hold each other accountable. The second way that you can hold yourself accountable is to truly close out your budget. So a lot of people know how to do a budget, but they don't know how to necessarily close it, which means they don't know if it's working or it's not working. So typically with the budget, if you are have your expenses and you have all of your categories, at the end of the month, you now want to sit down with your bank statements and determine if the amount of money that you budgeted for the month, how much did you actually spend and what the difference of those two amounts are. That way
Mm.
you'll know whether or not you need to increase a category or decrease a category. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually.
So typically when you're doing a budget, you're just putting all the numbers out. And then if you have money left over at the end, you're like, okay, great. I can do budget for the next month. But it's not truly until you sit down and close it, see what the difference is, see if you've overspent in an area, see if you've underspent, that you can truly see if that budget method and that budget type is working for you.
Nice. Okay. All right. So be a reader, get a budget.
Hmm. Learn to take a mental break.
Okay.
You have to take a break sometime. We are in a society and in a generation that requires us to always be on go. And then when you do that, you're burnt out. You have less sleep, but then I guess it enticed you to do an impulse buying. When I eat out the most, is typically when I'm tired and I don't want to come home and cook because I have either not slept enough the night before, I've worked too long, all of those things. If I would just learn to take a mental break, maybe a 30-minute walk when I get home, or unplug from all devices, all things, and just kind of sit and be, it then will allow you to make better choices with your finances. And we have to learn to take that break when we need it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Donda, I see your question. Let's get through these 5 points first, and then we'll circle back. So I'm going to just put it up there so, Shanova, you can maybe address it later, okay?
Okay.
All right.
The
All
next
right. So learn to take a mental break. That's number 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And then after you take a mental break, you want to invest in yourself and your skills, right?
Okay.
Sometimes when it comes to the budget, it's not that we don't have enough money. Some of us just simply don't make enough money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to increase your skill set, invest in yourself, and that way you can apply for higher paying jobs. If you're an entrepreneur, you can charge more on your services. We have to do this in an ethical way, though. You can't charge more or ask for more if you don't have the skill set to back it up. Now, that's my fundamental financial expert principles. There are plenty of people out there that's not following that method and that principle. But as a guide girl, I have a different set of code of ethics. And what I go by is to make sure that you can back up what you put out. So if you want to invest in yourself, another part of the accountability with the question that we had before, you have to invest in a business coach. Invest in a financial expert like myself. If you don't know how to budget, instead of going around in circles for 3 and 4 months, invest in hiring me to teach you how to do this one time and have this one-time skill that'll take you for a lifetime. Once you learn the skill, you don't have to relearn it every single year. You just have to build on it, right? So you can do that, invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for more money if that's what you deserve in your workplace. This is for primarily some of the women in the room, not to exclude the men, but we have to learn to lean in to what we deserve in our work environments and not be afraid to ask for the raise if you have earned it and you deserve it.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
And then the last thing, after you're a reader, you're taking some breaks, you're investing into yourself or your business, you want to set the clear intention. I know it sounds like the simplest step. Maybe that could have been the first one, but it's the most important, right?
Okay.
So it's the most important because if you don't become clear on where you stand financially in your life, you're not going to be able to get out of that situation. So there are plenty of people who are afraid to pull their credit report. They don't want to see the numbers. They don't want to see the score. You guys, it is a score. It's not who you are. Okay. And the sooner you can realize that every financial mistake, every life mistake that you have made is a learning lesson and a tool to get you to the next journey, then you will start to emotionally unattach yourself from the mistakes of your past, right? But you can't acknowledge them or you can't go on until you fully acknowledge what that looks like. So in this setting intentions, you have to identify what are my debt points and then set a clear goal and a motion of attack. Now, one that I love, and I know people think that Dave Ramsey created it, which he did not, and I digress, is the snowball method. Okay. I know a lot of people know Dave Ramsey for the snowball method, but he didn't create it. But it is a very super simple, super important step that you can take. Pay all your bills, smallest to largest. Celebrate some small wins in there. And I want to give a disclaimer. When you pay off a $50 credit card, you cannot treat yourself to a $500 trip.
Oh man.
It just doesn't add up, okay? Now I said that for everybody going into the intentions for next year. Make sure that your reward to yourself match what you just did, okay? So maybe take yourself an ice cream. That sounds like appropriate for the day in the terms, but set the intentions and be clear. If you're going to set an intention like I want to be debt free, I want to own a home, take some time in solitude, like to stillness. Make sure you have a date attached to it and a timeline that's non-negotiable and it's not moving. Right? That's how you
Okay.
be a person who we talked about that earlier. Having a set mind. If you want to be debt free by the end of 2023, now there are 4 to 5 steps in between that that will allow you to actually obtain that goal. And you cannot move the deadline just because one emotional thing happened to you in January and you're saying, I'm just tired of this year already. This year, just like last year. And then you move the deadline. No, steadfast, watch your mindset, and don't be swayed in the middle of the process. Trust the process.
Mm. Say that again.
You just have to trust the process. It is definitely a process. Financial wellness, generational wealth is built by small, itty bitty decisions.
Yes.
It's the tagline of our company. We create small habits to shift the big picture. That's what we do here. We
Love it.
something very small, build on it, and you guys have to give yourself some grace. If we go
Hmm.
back to mindset, we were not taught how to do this effectively. We don't have a manual for this. Everybody's still learning in their journey. Give
Yes.
yourself some grace. When you fall off, pick yourself right back up and keep moving. Okay,
Yes.
it's not a race. It's your own individual process, and the more you disconnect from the social medias, the things that you can look right or left, and simply sit in gratitude, you will begin to see the life that you want and celebrate all the small wins in between.
Love it. All right. All right. I think that's a great uh segue to the thing that we talked, this book that we talked about. But wait, before we do that, hold on, because I do want to address
The question.
Donda's question. She said it makes sense, but when should I decide or where should I place my excess investments? Question mark.
Well, that question is situational, right? And I would have to
Mhm.
speak with you personally in order to give you a better answer on where to put the access. It depends. If you have access, some people may want to put it towards a home if they're not a homeowner. Some people
Mhm.
may want to do investments, but what I will say is until you have a fully funded emergency fund, which is $1,000, and if you have a spouse that is $2,000, and if you have a spouse with children, that is $500 per child until you have a fully funded emergency fund, a 3 to 6 month fund in case anybody was to get laid off and you have to pay your bills. The 3 to 6 month fund is the total amount of money that you need for the month to pay all of your essentials. Until those two things are full at capacity, then the access should go to those two areas. Now, I'm not a person who don't want anybody to invest. I do believe that real generational wealth happens in real estate, investment, and those things. But we have to master the small things of emergency funds, life insurance, um, making sure we have a 3 to 6 month fund, all of the basics before we
Mhm.
can start playing in the big pond with the money.
Right. Agreed. Thank you for that.
Well,
All right. So tell us about this book.
oh, okay. Let me readjust myself for the book, okay? As you guys can see, I love, love, love to talk about money. It's something I can do all day. However, if you would have told me 6 months ago that I would add the title author to my name, I would laugh. Okay. I love to share the knowledge and the information, but I have now put all of the information to a financial roadmap for beginners inside of one amazing ebook. The reason I wrote this ebook is a lot of the foundation of why I started my company. Starting the journey of finances, I relate that journey to the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Hmm.
I am a foodie and I love to eat. And anybody that's been to the Cheesecake Factory know that it's overwhelming. It's so many options, so many pages, all of that. And you never know what you want to eat and where to start. So I created an ebook for the financial world to simply give them very simple, very realistic steps on where to go when you're starting your journey. That way, they don't have to experience the pitfalls. They don't have to endure the misinformation that's with the social media gurus that say you should invest before you even have a savings account. That those behaviors, while they may pay off in the beginning, they will come back at the end to just be detrimental to you. So I put together a roadmap. It is 5 steps in this roadmap. And the very first section in the roadmap is dealing with your financial mindset. Because just like Nicole, I believe that is the foundation of everything, dealing
Right.
with the mindset. We talk about financial organization, which is not a topic that we cover a lot in the financial arena, but that goes into, do you have the proper bank account set up? Do you have a will? Do you know where the will and things are located in your home? Just general organizational concepts. We also talk about building an emergency fund and how do you do that. And one of the things in the book that I love the most, outside of everything else, but I love that we have a challenge inside of the roadmap that will tell you how to fully fund your emergency fund in 6 months. So it's an amazing challenge that everybody who has a book will take so that you can build your emergency fund. We go over a number of budgeting methods and tools and tell you how to start the budgeting process, so that you can truly get a part of the journey and it's not overwhelming. It addressed some of the things that we talked about today. So income columns or income categories, expenses, and how do you really choose a method. There are 3 important methods inside of the book that you'll have to read, but budgeting is not just one method. So we go over all of the different types in the book. And then we end the book with an amazing, amazing chapter on how to track your progress. And that's not something
Mm.
we do often as individuals. We go and we do, and we never stop to assess if what we're doing is actually working. So I tell you how to track your progress, how to figure out if all those things are working. And it's a true roadmap. If you follow the steps and you go through the roadmap, you will definitely have an amazing, amazing solid foundation. And you'll be ready to invest and do the real estate and all the things that, everybody love to do and talk about. So I'm so excited about the roadmap. I'm so excited for the book, and I can't wait for everybody to grab a copy or to provide a copy to a teenager, a college student, or whomever you think will be blessed by the book.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations on the book. How can folks grab a copy?
The ebook is out now. You can go to Shanovia Monique. That is spelled SHANOVA, Monique.com. And it is inside of our product shop and services that we have. And then you can get it directly from my website.
All right. So the website is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Also, you can connect with Shanovia on Instagram, and that's on the bottom of your screen as well. So, any closing remarks that you want to give to the peoples tonight?
Well, first of all, thank you, Nicole, for having me on the Conversation with Nicole channel. It has
Mhm.
been an amazing conversation. I love being here. I love watching your show and seeing all the various topics that we talk about. So thank you so much for having me. And if I can leave a final word with everybody is, I want you guys to exercise your no to make your yes more valuable in 2023. So what that simply means is you have to turn down some things, turn down some opportunities to go to lunch so that you can honestly have a better solid foundation. So when you get ready to say yes, your friends, your family, everyone will appreciate that yes even more because they know that it was a sacrifice and you chose to be there. So set some intentions for 2023. Make sure you sit with yourself after the holiday season and really figure out what it is that you want to do for next year. And if you get stuck, you run into any issues, DM me on Instagram, visit my website, and be on the lookout for all things that's happening from Shanovia Monique in the first quarter of the year.
Wow. Wonderful. 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 Y'all, I am just full right now from this conversation. I'm gonna tell y'all, Shanovia, uh, how do one say this? She was like fangirling me at I don't even remember where we
And
were.
then
Where were we at?
we were at UPHS, like a conference for our jobs.
Oh, okay.
The conference. She don't think she's a big deal, guys, and I'm not sure why she don't think she's a big deal. But for me, I was like,
She was like, I'm gonna be on your show one day. I was like, girl, if you don't get my number and call me and let's make this thing happen, what's wrong with you? And so I'm so excited and delighted that you have been here with us tonight, sharing your knowledge and expertise. And this is really, y'all, the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to this, but this is a good taste. You definitely got to come back. We definitely got to collaborate and do something else together. I hope you all have found this beneficial. If you have, I think purple is her color, even though she's wearing Conversations with Nicole red tonight. Put a purple heart in the comments for us. We appreciate it. We're getting comments from folks now saying thank you so much. Sherry Pender's on. She was nodding her head. Vanessa said, "Good job, Nisi. So proud of you. Awesome presentation. Thanks for sharing. Looking forward to the ebook." So, y'all, please support this sister. Please, please, please. She's got a wealth of knowledge and she has really shared some really great nuggets tonight. And let's keep this conversation going. Tag a friend, share this live, share this video, the replay with somebody in your circle that you think could benefit from it because that's what it's all about, supporting one another and helping us to be our best selves. Real quick, I got to do my shout out. Conversations with Nicole. For those of you who might be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are on Mondays and Wednesdays live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the focus is on Black and Brown mental health with Mindset Monday, Wellness Wednesday, and just trying to help us be our best selves. Right now, we are rolling a contest inviting everybody to view one YouTube video every day in the month of December. And the person with the most views and comments will get a CWN swag bag in January. So, inviting you to participate in that contest, and you can find out more about it on the CWN Facebook and Instagram pages. All right. So we got a few more comments. People just, again, these purple hearts. Great job. Proud of you. All right. It's been great. Yes. Wonderful. Again, coming for my swag. Okay, Marjorie, I see you. I see you. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, good people. Well, you all have a great rest of the evening and a great rest of the week and weekend. Again, be careful out there. Holidaying it up. We're being festive and whatnot, but we want you to be safe. And we will see y'all next time on Conversations with Nicole. Bye.
Bye.